This is just a super quick video to show you what you can do with weeding lines in SCAL4 Pro. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating weeding lines to make this easier to work with because the design is 12 by 12, and if you were to remove the vinyl when you're weeding the way it is now without weeding lines, you're going to end up with vinyl catching on each other. You're going to have big sections to remove and you're going to end up ruining your piece. So once you add weeding lines, it makes it a whole lot easier to do your weeding. So I'm just going to click here in this option to create horizontal lines that will show you red lines across all the negative space, and it won't touch your actual designs. So if I click here, for example, you can see that I have red lines wherever I have negative space, and they don't touch the designs. They avoid them. So that's one weeding line. I'm going to put another one up here, and you notice here these are very close to the actual cutting lines because these weeding lines are also going to be cutting lines, and I don't want that. Don't want them to be that tight. So I'm going to just select the weeding line and drag it so that I can see that it's going to be in a better place than that was. This looks like it's creating a whole lot less tiny lines, except that there's a bunch in here, so I don't like that. I'm going to drag it up a little bit higher. They're still there, so I'm just going to bring this up here. Hopefully that will help. It's better. They're not that tiny here. Maybe a little bit further down. Now you see, this is one of the bugs in SureCuts these days. I noticed it with version 4.041. I've upgraded to 4.047 and it still happens once in a while. You see how your red line avoids all your shapes here? Well, it doesn't here. It seems fine at first and then it goes right across your shapes, and that's not good. So to get rid of that, select the line and drag it away, and then start over, and you can see now this one is fine. And actually this ended up in a much better place than what I had done earlier. So now I need another one here, and I want to avoid the text because let's say if I put it here in the text, notice all the little bits you're going to be having to weed. If you place your line further down over here, you're avoiding all of that text, so this is a nice clean line to pull away, and you only have a little bit of detail here. I'm going to put one more, and I think I'm going to put it right around here. Again, I'm trying to avoid the text. It would be nice to avoid these leaves as well, but I'm not going to be able to avoid all of that. So let's see how this is. It's a little bit close over here, so I'm just going to choose that and drag it down, make it a little bit better. I end up with one little spot in here, and the rest isn't too bad. Okay, so that's good for my horizontal lines. Now I'm going to choose this option and create a vertical line. I'm going to start over here, and as I follow the line through, that's pretty good. Notice here there's a line missing. It should have made a line right here, but that doesn't matter. It's not going to cause any problems. Then I'm going to create another one over here. Notice how they cross here, and that ends up being a small piece here. But let's see what else happens. It's good the rest of the way through, so that's fine. And then I want one more in the middle here. And that also works quite well all the way through. And I'm just double checking that all of my red lines never cross my shapes, because if they do, then you're going to end up with your shape being cut at that point. So that's it. Now that I have created all my weeding lines, I'm going to click OK, and you're going to see that the design now has weeding lines on it. Once you've done that, you need to select everything, which means your entire design with the weeding lines, and you need to group that. Because if you move the weeding lines, they're going to be cutting in the wrong place. So now when I drag this around, everything is grouped and my weeding lines will cut there. If I click preview and you show all your cut lines, you're going to see that wherever you have red is where it's going to cut. So I hope this has been helpful to you. Thanks so much for watching.